You're listening to the Incomparables Total Party Kill podcast, in which a group of friends play Dungeons and Dragons on the internet for your amusement. This is episode number 489, recorded November 2023, posted February 2025. Just K'en.
Welcome back to Total Party Kill. It's me, Tony Sindelar, a Dungeon Master. I use he, him pronouns, and today we're continuing Prisoner 13, one of the adventures from Keys from the Golden Vault, a collection of heist-based adventures from, as the book cover tells me, the world's greatest role-playing game, which is, okay. We've all heard of D&D. You don't have to sell us on it. We already bought your book. Joining me are a group of players who represent the Keys from the titular Golden Vault. They are operatives of a secret society / a society with secrets sent out to do good in the world on various missions that the Golden Vault deems, worthy enough to send Keys on them. In our previous adventure, they were told about the need to send people to a faraway prison known as Revel's End and gain a piece of information from the titular Prisoner 13, specifically how to open a locked vault that Prisoner 13 has concealed an entire Dwarven clan's treasure trove in. But I get ahead of myself. Allow me to introduce our players, and then we will dive into the action so far. First up in my Zoom window, first up in our hearts, it's Monty Ashley. Welcome back, Monty.
Thank you, Tony. I am Monty Ashley. My pronouns are he, him, and those are also the pronouns for the character I am playing, who is Krong, a bugbear rogue, kind of a nightmare monster who's decided to leave that life and start anew with stealing stuff, I guess.
But for a good cause,
right. Sure. Very good cause, I guess.
If Monty is the heart of Total Party Kill, she's the soul, and she's next up. It's Annette Wierstra. Annette, welcome back to Total Party Kill.
Thank you. I am playing Jay Raff. We are both she/hers. Jay is a Aasimar paladin who is a little bit goth, and she is really into ravens and skulls. So super ready to take this prison down.
A recent addition to Total Party Kill, I guess he's like the gallbladder. It's Chip Sutterth.
You have some gall, Tony. I'm Chip Sutterth, he, him, as is my character, Josh Moles, cleric. He is a mace-wielding youth pastor of chaos.
Next up, maybe he's the lungs. He certainly takes our breath away. It's Lincoln Hayes.
Oh my goodness. Thank you, Tony.
I'm running out of organs, people.
You only got one left. You got this. I am Lincoln Hayes, he, him, and I am playing Xantar Quickhands, a deep gnome sorcerer who's a big fan of Krong.
And finally, maybe like our immune system, I don't know, or our conscience, are those related? I don't know how
thought you were
biology
gonna go with
works.
Brain?
Oh, I forgot, but my brain not works so good. The brain of Total Party Kill, Erica Ensign. Welcome back, Erica. That's why you are the brain. We could have scripted this.
I thought maybe you were saving it. Nope. Okay. Yeah. Erica
I'll
Ensign.
point out that, not to get like too philosophical, but I don't think the soul is technically an organ, but not a doctor. Please continue, Erica Ensign.
Yes, it's in the stomach.
This is D&D. The soul is whatever you say it is.
It's true.
Okay.
Very true. Canon. Yes, I am playing Levithia du Isigri, a human ranger. Our pronouns are she, her. Levithia is very spacey and very nondescript, and she might be sitting in a corner and you wouldn't even notice. Not because she's sneaky, just because she's boring.
All right. So, as mentioned before, you have been contacted by Mira Rahim, your contact, your handler with the Golden Vault, who has basically brokered the addition of Chip's lovely character to your team. As part of undertaking your next heist, which is going to be gaining entrance into the Revel's End prison, contacting Prisoner 13, and somehow getting this piece of information that the Axebreaker clan of dwarves need from her. You have been basically,
Her, you say.
well, we were inconsistent with pronouns last time, so technically you don't know anything about the identity of Prisoner 13. And I think we used a mismatch of pronouns for Prisoner 13 last time, which is, I don't know, maybe unintentionally confusing, but in an intentional kind of way, because you don't, at this stage of things, know anything about Prisoner 13 except their prisoner number. It was suggested that you basically take 24 hours to come up with at least the initial stage of a plan, and then meet with your representative from the Golden Vault to request resources and figure out next steps. This is a much more planny operation than your other adventures, which have included, for people who haven't listened to previous adventures, things such as there's a rock at the museum that's going to burst into an elder god tonight, get on it, people, and there's a casino that we need you to like knock over tomorrow. So, this is like, there's a prison we'd like you to break into soon. So, take your time. Now, I think there's some debate and discussion as to, do you have a plan? Really, what is a plan? There's plan with like a capital P, and there's other kinds of plans. I don't think that you have a plan. Monty says you have a plan. Monty, debate me. This is the internet.
As I remember, the plan is that we will pose as prisoners' rights, as a prisoners' rights group who is here to investigate the welfare of the prisoners. And we have been sent by a lesser duke of White Sparrow, actually, because this duke is interested in becoming one of the people who sends their prisoners to Revel's End. So our plan is to get here, say, hello, we would like to interview some prisoners over in your lovely meeting room, and one of those prisoners will be prisoner 13, and when we've got them alone, we'll shake him down for the lock. We still need much more information on prisoner 13 if we're going to get this done, so we're going to have to go back to the Golden Vault and say, what if you told us something about this mysterious prisoner? That's the plan.
I think you have actually pretty convincingly combined multiple plans that you had last time into a single plan. You know what? Monty gains inspiration, and Kron can have inspiration too. That's how generous I am.
Yeah.
Anyone who has ever claimed that Tony Sindelar is not a generous dungeon master must be a bad person who is full of lies. Because
can't argue with that.
Why would I say that? Surely that has never happened, and I am not responding to specific incidents on a specific Slack in the last 24 hours. That is just, I am not doing that, is what I'm saying. Enjoy your inspiration, Kron.
Thank you.
I can't wait for this
Monty's
episode
right,
to
though,
come out and listen to it and go, my God, when did we talk about that in Slack?
Yeah, that is exactly what we kind of decided on last time. So thank you for summarizing it so well, Monty.
Yeah.
Very much
well
so.
done.
And it was a plan.
So is there other things that you need to figure out amongst a group, or should we kind of fast forward to your follow-up meeting with the Golden Vault?
I think we should fast forward.
Yeah.
Okay.
We have a few things to get from them, but I think we know what those are.
These are pretty big cells.
Yeah, I think there's some issues with scale on this map. So,
Like 25
all right.
feet by 25 feet. Not bad.
Let me just ask, storytelling wise, do you think your meeting with your handler at the Golden Vault would be in the J-Rath or the Rath family basement, or would it be back at the blacksmith shop? Mainly,
I think we were at Levithia's house because her parents have better snacks.
I'm sorry. It's Levithia's house that we frequently meet at.
Yeah, but I think the blacksmith shop is probably where we would go.
Yeah.
Neutral ground.
All right.
Don't let anybody into your house who might be a vampire.
Yeah.
That's right.
All right. And so roughly 24 hours later, you reconvene at the Axebreaker clan blacksmith shop in Varkenbluff. As previously determined, your handler from the Golden Vault, Mira Rahir, is there. The leader of the Axebreaker clan, one Varen Axebreaker, is busy with other duties in kind of the main blacksmith shop. You know, it's got to put in the hours. but he can be fetched as needed. But so it's the five of you are shown into the back room, and Mira is there waiting for you. I'll point out that most of your communications with Mira have been for your other missions via talking box. So this is, I think, her in-person presence is indicative of kind of the importance of this job. And sometimes talking box can be inefficient as a communication and collaboration media. People, think about that in your day jobs. Don't just don't just send golden keys and boxes out to everyone and hope for the best. Sometimes you got to get people in the same place at the same time.
No, that's wrong. That's wrong. This meeting should be an email. Send it to me on the talking box, list, please.
Nah, I'm here for this in-person webinar.
Okay. Reference acknowledged. So Mira is glad to see you all. I am excited to see you all. I did a little bit of research on my own in terms of vis-a-vis the Golden Vault's resources, and I just I don't want to stir the pot too much, but I just thought I'd mention. And she kind of pulls out a stack of papers. So the Revel's End is supplied with guards and other staff from up and down the Sword Coast, and 6 days from now there's a boat that will be passing by. She flips through the pages fully. One, the Jolly Pelican. And, well, we've done a little bit of research, and she produces another piece of paper. There's several good citizens of Varkenbluff that are scheduled to be on that boat for the next their next rotation at Revel's End. Some guards, some cooks, and other staff. And I've already taken the liberty of just keeping tabs on those folks in case perhaps they aren't going to make their boat. Anyway, how are you all?
I feel like that's information that would have been helpful before we started thinking about how we were going to get in.
Well, you know how these things go.
Are some of those individuals guards?
Indeed, some of them are.
Okay.
But we do have several days, and, obviously we can't do everything, but there's a lot that could happen in several days, especially with... I'm trying to pull in as many favors as I can from across the Golden Vault.
We would like you to set us up as a prisoners' rights group.
Okay, so like a full-on NGO. Whew, wow, 6 days.
I don't think you actually need to file the paperwork.
Oh, good.
You don't need a 501c3.
Oh,
yeah.
So this is more like a 403B? What are we talking here?
It just needs to hold together long enough for us to get on and off.
So perhaps like a forged letter of introduction from the Lord's Alliance.
Yeah.
Oh, I can get a good one of those.
Stationary might be nice.
I can get a good one of those in 72 hours, maybe 48 if I pull in a favor. We need it to be somewhere that is credible, but at the same time highly forgettable and absolutely not verifiable based on their kind of remote location. What's like the most podunk town you can think of?
White Sparrow.
White Sparrow.
Love it.
It's this place that has a giant hand.
Oh, yeah.
Have you heard about... Hey, speaking of which, do you know anything about this giant hand at White Sparrow? It's got 6 fingers.
I can't talk about that.
This is crucial for this job. We need all the information we can get.
Krong, you kidder. We've talked about this.
We're going to be representing White Sparrow. We need all the information on the... All right.
I think that we both know that a prisoner's right group from White Sparrow would not know the secret of the hand. Wait until you get 10th level. I'll read you in. Okay. So White Sparrow, and so are all of you representing the White Sparrow prisoners' rights group? That might be a hard sell. Is it possible that some of you are less prominent people?
If there
of course,
are guards,
we're going to pose as other roles within the prison as well.
Ah, okay.
I mean, it's an interdisciplinary organization.
Oh, is it? I sometimes forget because we just invented it.
My thought was that I would just be like a guard or a not unnamed. Obviously, I have a name, but like a less important person who's just going to be there to, protect the important people of White Sparrow.
Oh, that sounds great. Jay, would you just take a look at this list of names and just pick one?
This list,
Yep.
I think we're going with Anders Carrots.
All right, and Mira just like crosses out that name. She won't be making the boat. We'll make sure that you've got a guard's uniform waiting for you.
Excellent.
Anyone else?
Sure.
Levithia, did you want to go as a guard or a cook, or what can we set you up with?
I'm not sure, based on the plan that we came up with, how helpful a cook would be. So I feel like the more guards, the better, depending on how many guard positions are available. Is there another one?
I think there are up to 3 guard positions available.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea, because then we can also keep in better contact.
All right. Erica, feel free to make up a quality guard name that, something is going to happen to a person you'll never
Involving
meet, but your choices
vegetables.
have caused them to have at least a minor career upset as you take their place.
All right, I'll give it to you in a second, because there was an actor that I ran across the other day that had the greatest name ever, and I want to use that, but I have to ask Demon what it was.
Does a third one of you want to be a guard? There's also the option to be some other prison staff. I wasn't sure, Chip, were you thinking of going as yourself or as another priest, or was that part of...
I was planning on doing the chaplain thing.
Okay.
The chaplain counseling thing.
Okay. And will you be Josh, or will you be another false priest identity?
Because I'm just me.
Yep.
I'll be just Josh.
All right.
Wait, no. I know who I'll be. Ka'in Molus.
Oh, okay.
I'm just Ka'in.
I get it. And Mira says, "Oh, okay. We'll put together some documents for you and make sure that you're on the Jolly Pelican too." Mr. Xanter, how will you be traveling?
I don't think I would be believable as a guard, so I'll be a member of the rights group.
Okay. Perhaps if one of you was kind of the representative and one of you was the representative assistants, that might be the most convincing duo. I don't know how you want to work that out amongst yourselves.
I would like to be the assistant.
Oh, okay. Krong, what are you thinking?
I will be Diogenes Mainframe.
And who is Diogenes Mainframe in this context?
Oh, just a guy.
Okay. Is that a guard then versus a prisoner's rights advocate?
Yes, just get me onto the boat as I will replace one of the guards who's supposed to be there, who's supposed to be a prison guard, and I will vanish into the shadows at the first possibility.
Okay, so just to make sure, I think I've got this right. Xanter and Josh are the prisoners' rights group, and Xanter, it sounds like you're the face for that group.
I've got the charisma score for it.
And Josh is going to be the assistant, and then Krong, Levithia, and Jay are going to be guards. So for the purposes of your transit, I had to switch from Tony voice into NBC voice. So obviously, I don't need to spell this out for you, but for the purposes of your transit, you represent 2 different groups who are meeting each other for the first time on the Jolly Pelican, and there will be the boat will be basically all other prisoner staff and employees and guards. So make sure to maintain cover at all times.
Okay,
Do
my
they
current
give tours.
I don't think they give tours.
They should give tours.
Well,
my cover name is Lexi Shrapnel.
Okay, is that a real name?
There's an actor named Lex Shrapnel.
Okay,
which is the greatest name ever, and I wanted to use it for something in D&D, and here we are.
Please make sure to write down your awesome fake cover names, because you are not going to remember them the next time we play.
I wrote it on the document.
There you go. Other things that we probably should have mentioned last time. Most of the doors throughout Revel's End are protected with pretty powerful arcane lock spells. But check this out. Everybody think of the prison. Are you thinking of the prison?
Yes.
Yes.
You all have the image of that blueprint in your head. Now think about a particular door as shown in the prison that you're thinking about. We're all still thinking about the prison, right?
Are we all thinking about different
Sure.
doors?
You can think about whatever door you want.
Okay.
As you
Okay.
think about the door, the image in your head, you have that blueprint of the prison, which is also in a Google Doc. You can refer to it at any moment. And the door color on the map like flips to green.
Did we just unlock that door?
You've just unlocked that door. It only stays
That's
unlocked.
so dangerous.
It only stays unlocked as long as you're concentrating and thinking.
I
about
stopped
it.
concentrating immediately.
You can't do that. You can't have us unlock 5 doors in a maximum security prison without warning us that's going to happen.
Not a
Well,
great idea.
we know that now.
I'm okay with it.
Look, did I mention I don't run this prison? So you obviously we're going to need to make some arrangement vis-a-vis the guards you're going to impersonate, and a letter of introduction for your organization. Xanter, are you going to have a fake identity for your new non-governmental organization that you're creating?
Sure.
Okay, it's on you to provide that.
My name will be Stanley Wilmon.
Okay, Stanley Wilmon. No one is doing anything that's going to get them in trouble with their actual jobs right now, right? Okay.
That was my
I can assure you.
Okay. So, Mira says, what else can I put together for you in the next few days to prepare you for the trip?
How do we get back?
Excellent question. How are you going to get back?
When they're done interviewing the prisoners, they will
Is there
say,
another-
we would like to leave now, and will be escorted out to the boat.
Well,
We take the
I
boat
think
back.
you're going to have a challenge there. You know, Revel's End is not exactly a major public transit hub. It looks like, and she pulls out like a big map, and it's got like boat charts on it and stuff. Looks like you'll get dropped off, and then you'll have 7 days till the next boat shows up.
When does the next dog sled leave?
Those aren't on this schedule.
That's because that's
Um,
boats.
Oh, that's convenient then. That means they'll leave right when we want to leave.
Okay, you could escape over the icy terrain via dog sled. There's probably dog sleds you could steal / help yourselves to. That you
There
know,
are stables.
yeah, that you know, the adventure may end with a chase scene across tundras as people are.
Just like every boring science fiction novel from the 1970s.
I thought you were going to say like just like that exactly one Fast and the Furious movie, but yes, also that.
Wouldn't know.
So
I can't wait to get this -1 animal handling in action.
yeah, exactly. A seal eats your hand. So sorry, Kron.
Perfect technology.
Yep.
I mean, unless the Golden Vault has some magical way to get us off the island.
Right. Perhaps your own teleportation circle.
I don't think we have anything about that. Lincoln, reminder, I don't know if this is relevant to that. You did ask at some point about would the vault be able to provide you with a dimension door scroll, which I think they could. Is that relevant to getting out, or that was relevant to moving around the prison?
I think it would be helpful regardless. If things go pear-shaped, we can make a door 500 feet over there and run.
Now, obviously, that is a pretty powerful and expensive one-time use item. Tend to be a little bit more in the lending things out, which means they need to come back to us. But I will pull in a favor, and Xanter, I will get you that dimension door scroll. That is my promise to you. And
Fantastic.
yeah, so I think just to sum up there, I think your options for escape are either improvise. Improvise dog sled antics, or time your intended escape for, be there and maintain cover and plan your sneaky things for the end of a week,
We
which
also
means you have to
have
to hold down legitimate jobs for a week, which may be beyond some of your abilities.
we also don't know how long it will take to actually get to interview prisoner 13. It might
Very
be
true.
suspicious if we just say that one first. So we may need to have some days of it.
Speaking of which, you need to tell us everything you know about prisoner 13.
Yes.
Oh, yes. Mira kind of looks around and makes sure that no one from the Axebreaker clan is about to come in. I'm not really supposed to talk about prisoner 13. It's complicated.
That's it. We're supposed to break into a prison and ask this person how to unlock this vault, and all we get is it's complicated.
Well,
Do you know if they will be likely to tell us how to break into the vault, or we're going to have to rough them up?
Well, I wouldn't dare to tell you how to do your job.
You need to tell us everything you know, including the name of prisoner 13, or we can't do this job.
Roll either persuasion or intimidation or something charisma based, Krong.
And I'll help.
It's intimidation.
I'm on Krong's hip.
By the way, could it? Oh,
Sure sounds like Xanter is helping you, so you have advantage.
Big and small. That's
good
us.
thing for that. 16.
All right. Mira kind of thinks about it, and she's just start ruffling through some pieces of paper, and then she's kind of like looking like kind of like at a wall, avoid it, that none of you are near, and she says, "I just remembered I should go for a little walk around the block, and I'm just gonna leave this right here." And she puts kind of a sheath of paper from the bottom of the stack on top of the stack, and then kind of like stretches and is like, "I'll be back in a couple minutes." And that's the door opening and closing.
Nice.
And you are alone in the office with a stack of papers.
Who has good forgery skills to let you know we don't have a camera? Just quick, make a copy.
You can also read.
Yeah, I know. I just don't trust myself to remember.
Open that up.
All right. Xanter, I'll assume that you're going to dive for it. In the top sheet of the document is basically kind of like, it's like a dossier, one of those, on prisoner 13. And a little ways into it, you don't have to read too far before it tells you that prisoner 13, currently incarcerated at Revel's End for a variety of criminal actions, and has been at Revel's End for quite a long time with no expected release date anytime soon. But prisoner 13, real name, Corda Glintstone, a dwarven woman and former member of the Axebreaker clan. And the dossier goes on to basically describe that prisoner 13 / Corda Glintstone was a good standing member of the Axebreaker clan, but also kind of built up a fledgling criminal empire that she then grew with some good success using the Axebreaker fortune to finance it, while building her own fortune at the same time. Her crimes eventually caught up with her, and she was incarcerated in Revel's End, but she continues to run an organized crime ring from within Revel's End. And the Golden Vault, there's some memos from different people in the Golden Vault in the stack of papers. It seems like the Golden Vault is a little bit log jammed or at loggerheads as to whether prisoner 13 / Corda Glintstone is good or bad for their operations, in that she is a high ranking member of organized crime that they know and are aware of, versus if she was no longer in control of her criminal syndicate, that would be a source of chaos, which in general the Golden Vault is very anti chaos in the world. They like to be in control of things and have information about stuff and not do things that would send them into an area where they have less knowledge and less control of the situation. So that is the so you now know the identity of Prisoner 13 and information on them. I'll say there's a physical description of Prisoner 13 as a dwarven woman with red hair and a lot of tattoos. Do I have a picture of Prisoner 13 that I will share with you right now? I sure do.
We don't need to go to the prison at all. If she's running a criminal gang from her cell, she's communicating with them here, and they're communicating with her there.
Agreed. That was my first question. Is like, how are they communicating? How can we get to her?
The Golden Vault does not have details on that, or at least this stack of documents does not provide details.
Oh, that's fine. I used to be a criminal.
It's true.
I used to be a criminal.
Thank you.
And that means I have a reliable and trustworthy contact who acts as my liaison to a network of other criminals. And I know how to get messages to and from my contact over great distances.
Has that guy woken up for brunch yet? What time is it?
My question is, obviously she's communicating. It's probably like a Sally Tomato thing where she's giving false weather reports to the visitors and who are, taking it out. I may have seen Breakfast at Tiffany's one too many times. But it still sounds like the way to open the vault could be something that only she knows, that she hasn't communicated to anybody else. And I can't imagine that she would trust that information to a code to a runner outside of the prison. So we might still have to go there, but I think it's worth checking out if you can.
And we can find out what she wants in her prison and smuggle it into her.
Love it.
Yeah.
And I will say the implication, I feel the quest hook is a little confusing for this adventure. I think that the idea is that the Axebreaker clan is now kind of in possession or has control of the vault, but does not have the ability to get into it. So,
have you tried a knock spell?
I've got one of those.
I mean,
so a possibility is that she's paying off a guard somehow, which means that any of the guards that we may encounter may have replaced on the boat or may be riding on the boat with, could be her pal.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think this does suggest that there could be a variety of associates of Prisoner 13, both among the prison population and the staff of Revel's End itself.
I mean,
Mirror right
all we
here.
have to do is interview some prisoners who are in absolutely no hurry to leave the prison, and that it's a clue.
I will tell you, flipping through the documents, one last little piece of note. All the prisoners at Revel's End are referred to by number. It's part of their horrible dehumanizing efforts, and it is standard policy that you are never to use the name of a prisoner within Revel's End. Prisoner 13 having such a low number is somewhat indicative that this is a person that has been there for a long time, because the numbers kind of iterate. So this Prisoner 13 was theoretically the 13th person imprisoned at Revel's End.
Okay, now that we know that she is the criminal mastermind who still has an organization that she's running from inside, I am rethinking the decision to just go all guards all the time, because we would be able to probably get more information if we had people scattered in different places throughout the prison. So maybe Lexi Shrapnel is actually a chef.
Okay. You hear the little bell jingle, I assume, outside the blacksmith, and you hear Mira Rahira say, "Hello, Axebreaker clan, it's me, back here to meet with my friends in the office. Hope everyone's doing great." And kind of noisily clomp across the blacksmith shop.
Shuffle. Straighten.
Before the door opens, says, "It's me, here to meet with you friends again." And then the door opens and Mira here returns.
For being a member of a secretish, shady
But
organization,
she's friendly.
She's really bad at this.
Yeah, I think she put a lot more points into project management than she did into spy. And, I respect that.
That's why she's not in the field anymore.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. I'm back. I hope that you had a nice break.
I was just meditating. It was very peaceful.
I was actually realizing that I'm kind of hungry, and that made me change my mind and decide instead of being a guard, I think maybe I would like to be a cook instead.
Okay. And she tries to erase the line through one of the things, but it was in ink and it's just making a mess. And she starts scribbling notes to be like, don't have that person eliminated. And so.
Eliminated? We're
Do they
killing
have
them?
custodial personnel?
Do they have custodial personnel?
Like somebody who just goes around sweeping and polishing stuff. Surely the guards don't do that.
No, I think they kind of. I think it's basically. I feel like there's basically prison. There's basically the guards who are kind of trained combat veterans, and then just your more generic staff, many of whom will be working in the kitchen, but would also be involved in a variety of maintenance and cleaning and general moving stuff.
So is anybody in the boat labeled as just general staff?
Yeah. And Mira will take this moment to say, I did, I thought about things, and I realized that we have a friend, and that friend, they have a friend, and their friend has a boat. It's not as good a boat as the Jolly Pelican, but perhaps it could be arranged to be stopping by Revel's End for an unscheduled pickup at a certain evening if you are so inclined. But you'd need to schedule it. I want to be really clear here that we'd need to agree to what that time is ahead of time.
That sounds tricky.
Less than a week.
48.
Right,
no.
but if we say 48 hours and we don't have access,
you are putting a ticking clock on yourself.
Yeah, but after 48 hours, if we don't have a line on it, I think we should get out anyway.
That's a fair point.
And
you want to call it 72? Do I hear 72?
I was going to say 60, actually. 2.5 days, so that we
Well,
leave.
I think they'd prefer to arrive under cover of night, so...
Well, isn't that what I said? Surely the regular boat gets there during the day.
Surely.
And if
That's so
if
logical.
worst comes to worst, there's always the dog sleds or the stables.
Or seeing if we can just maintain our cover until the boat actually leaves.
Yep.
That's true. We can
I'm
wait
gonna
for
be
the Jolly
living in a-
Pelican.
I expect to be living in a duct for at least 2 days.
I've told you that there's
You must
very
be
few
so
ducks on this
excited.
map. So-
Can I be a duct maintenance person?
No. That's not a real job in Dungeons and Dragons.
Well, it
And
should
prisoners'
be.
rights advocacy is.
You know what? You used up all your plausibility points on prisoners' rights advocacy.
All right, fair.
Fair.
Yeah.
Fine.
I think it's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean it's not bad, but I'm just saying you get one plausibility stretch. You don't get two.
Hey, this is a story we create together.
Yeah, and I'm here to ruin it.
Remember, Xanter, if we're going to maintain our cover, we've got to be real uncomfortable with all this dehumanizing numbers thing.
Hey, do you guys know we can shut these doors ourselves just by clicking on the map?
What?
That seems like a mistake. I think you can click on the map and do something. I don't know why you would want to, but yeah. What other things, players, do you want to figure out before we flash forward, before you board the Jolly Pelican and head to Revel's End?
I think to be safe, we should get a couple grappling hooks and plenty of rope just in case.
Oh, easily. Yeah, I've got a
yeah.
crate of those back at the secret headquarters that I'm not supposed to tell you about, says Mira.
Right. Can we get a passcode from the Axebreaker clan? Something that says, we accept you back into our clan again. So that, she knows that we're on her side. Wink.
I think that might be beyond our means.
The Axebreaker clan, which is in the next room, won't give us a phony passcode? All right, fine.
You're
The
not
Axebreaker clan
even.
does not want us to know.
I'll just remind you that you don't know the identity of Prisoner 13 and will be shocked and surprised when you learn it.
Oh, yes. I remember.
Yep. If you could make sure to yell, "What a twist," the Golden Vault would appreciate that.
You got it. Let me just write that down.
Perhaps some lock-picking kits, maybe a few disguise kits just in case we need to duck into a room and change our face.
Okay, I would say
During a riot, perhaps.
assume that everyone has a disguise kit and a let's just assume that anyone has a disguise kit. You can have a lockpicking kit if that is useful to you. I don't know if all of you can use it without training. But yeah, you've all got things like that.
And I assume I get a guard's uniform.
Yeah, so all of you, basically, if you are assuming the identity of a cook or a guard or another prison staff, you will be provided with basically a uniform that has like Revel's End, branded logo with their livery on it, that you would be expected to show up to work with. Yeah.
For those of us who are not pretending to be guards, what's the deal with our weapons?
You may want to. I think you could probably anticipate that you will not be permitted to carry weapons openly, and so you might need to think about what weapons can you either carry discreetly or have somebody else carry. I believe at least one person does have a bag of holding, which allows people to carry other people's things for them. I think there's also the idea that, like, I could imagine, Xanter, you might have a dagger that you could conceal upon yourself. Certainly, a cleric such as Josh would still have their holy symbol, but you might not be able to walk around with a mace.
Yeah.
As a guest.
But our bag of holding, super handy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And, we might need to assume, for example, that, like, that there is that challenging thing. If you're pretending to be a guard, you're wearing generic guard outfit and carrying a generic guard weapon. All your nice stuff might need to be tucked away until, you could have it in a bag of holding ready to use at a certain point, but you can't just walk around with all your sweet.
I mean, I really
armor
hope
and magic
we
gear.
don't need to fight our way out through 75 guards. It would be great if we didn't need all those weapons.
72, 3 of them didn't make the boat.
Well, no,
Sorry,
because now I'm a cook.
73. Well, hey, Erica, that 73rd guard's on you.
Whoever's got the bag of holding, let's take the stuff.
Yeah.
Just in case.
I would
the bag
encourage
of
you
holding, but
not
I
to
would-
leave all your stuff in Varkenpla. So,
I think I'm going to give it to Chip or Lincoln.
okay.
That makes sense.
Chip, if you want
Okay.
it that way, you have your weapons right away.
It would be.
works.
See, it seems like it would also. I mean, that's the tricky thing. A bag of holding is still a conspicuous object, and it's like, why is that guard carrying a magic satchel? That's not regulation. Whereas, why is that priest carrying a magic satchel? Well, it's like, I mean, obviously that's part of his works.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, why can't the guard have works?
Well, I mean, I think he's supposed to leave that at home. He's on the clock.
Fair.
So, I mean, I just think I think one of the key things about uniforms is that they are supposed to be uniform. Yeah, that's how they get you.
I'll be
Triple skull flail.
as a cook, I can always, I'm sure there's a storage room where they have some extra knives.
I believe you, in fact, on the map, there is a storage room right next to the kitchen. So, yeah.
To improve our cover, could we possibly fast track some buttons or stickers or something that we could give out to the prisoners to make it seem more legit?
Mira is like, yes, we have a small, the Golden Vault is a society with secrets. We have we have screen printing facilities up and down the Sword Coast.
Amazing.
Yeah, so there'll be buttons. I don't think they don't have sticker technology yet, but they have buttons.
Yeah, but the buttons have little pokey things. That's not going to go well in a prison.
They're magic.
They'll be the magnetic
buttons.
kind.
Yeah, they're magic. They just kind of cling to you.
Magnetic? What is this sorcery?
Well, it's sorcery. That's what kind of sorcery it is. Did I mention that the screen printing business is run by a sorcerer? So, world building.
They're just pamphlets.
Yeah. Okay. People are going to be prisoners can't be trusted with that. They'll be paper cutting their way out of this place. We can't give out pamphlets. Nice round buttons. What do the buttons say on them? Do they just have like the logo, or do they say something?
Oh, I wrote it down.
Do they say something? Do they have like a proclamation about prisoners' rights?
It should be FP P. Prisoners Liberation Association. So
Okay.
the FPLA.
FPLA. Got it.
That sounds like we just want them to free the prisoners.
Well, that's true.
I will remind you.
How about liberties?
Okay, liberties.
All right.
There you go. Yeah,
There.
that was some nice committee work, people. Monty, too bad you
Approved.
already have inspiration. So how much time are you going to spend workshopping the slogan for your not existent prisoners' rights organization?
Branding
If
is
people weren't
important, Tony.
Yeah.
It is.
If people weren't watching us, the next 3 hours.
Okay.
Very true.
Can confirm.
We'd have a logo.
I have the spell Featherfall, which could come in handy if we find ourselves at the top of the tower and need to jump off.
That's a very
Ooh.
specific circumstance.
Yep, sure is.
Not
I'm just
out of
going to
the realm
point
of
out,
possibility.
Krong, looking at the map and where the tower is, where would you land when you jump off the tower?
I think we could. The tower's very tall, right? Like 160 feet or so.
It is pretty tall.
But,
I guess it
I
is
look
feather
forward to the
tall,
prospect
not
of falling
rock
very,
fall.
very slowly down in front of
into
a
the
bunch
prison.
of archers.
Yeah, into the
okay,
prison.
forget the tower then.
Oh,
What we do is we bust out the front door going between the guards and the hospital here. Then we jump, and then I featherfall us down this 160 feet to the dock. That way we don't need to use the elevator.
there is an elevator there for a reason.
Mhm.
Yeah, well, maybe something has happened to the elevator, Tony.
Oh, and then people can't follow you.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's almost a plan.
Mhm.
I like the idea of us panicking and just running right out the door and then right off the cliff.
Yep, got to
I
flag.
think that's a good image.
I
Yeah,
don't think anyone would follow us.
yeah. The key would be to do that around when the boat is scheduled to pick you up, and not 24 hours before or after the boat is scheduled to pick you up.
Absolutely.
I'm just saying these things as things.
That's
that
our
could happen.
ripcord moment.
Yeah. I will point out that Revel's End is in a Arctic wasteland, and the water is freezing cold and full of ice piranhas, let's say.
Are you guys not covered in fur?
Episode title.
Yeah.
It's just a fur cape. It's not real fur.
Oh. They have their
Oh, I appreciate that. 'cause
Krong, they have their fur on the inside.
I saw somebody with a bugbear fur coat, and I was very angry at him, but it did look very comfortable.
Oh, mine is faux fur. I don't do bugbear since we're friends.
Thank you.
Mhm.
But only because you're friends.
Right.
That's true.
If I say the wrong thing, that's it. I'm getting
You're a
skinned.
cape.
Yeah, you're a cape before nightfall.
That's actually a pretty good insult.
Yeah. Adventures, what other things should we figure out? I wasn't sure if we would get to Revel's End today or if we would end shortly before you are about to board the Jolly Pelican as we approach the top of the hour here.
Can we stock up on potions?
I think that they can probably provide you with a healing potion each.
Do you know what kind of weapon a guard would be carrying? If
What
they're
kind
not
of
carrying their
weapon?
fancy, fun, exciting.
Hold on, I can totally answer that question for you. A guard, as provided by Revel's End, using the generic veteran stats, carries. Oh, they carry a longsword. And they can have a longsword and a short sword if they want.
Ooh. I'll take all the weapons.
I would say that a guard either has, depending on how they've been outfitted, either a longsword, a short sword, or a heavy crossbow. Probably you wouldn't carry all three because that would just be cumbersome.
I'm picking a longsword.
Okay, I imagine at the if you did not provide your own longsword, they would have stuff at the prison to outfit you with weapons when you're on patrol and whatnot.
They have a loner.
Yeah, but it's like not very good, right? It's all scuffed
It's not
up.
even sharp.
I know.
Yeah,
It's not as good as my beautiful axe.
Yeah. Sorry.
Painted green.
But your
so
axe will
everybody
be-
knows you forgot your sword.
Yeah.
Your axe will be one cleric away.
And so
I
the
appreciate
next several days are spent studying the blueprints, checking in for status checks from the Golden Vault as they bring you various items and update you on their plans to abduct some people of the good citizens of Varkenbluff who aren't going to make that boat. Documents are forged, identification papers are created, and it is but 6 days later on a Tuesday night, as you kind of assemble near the docks of Varkenbluff. Did you know there was a docks? There is now, awaiting the arrival of the Jolly Pelican that will take you and others like you, except that they have slightly more legitimate jobs, to Revel's End. There's a kind of a small crowd of other workers who are going to be joining the Jolly Pelican for their shift. Other guards and cooks and prison staff ready to disembark. As you're, some people might be excited to finally put their plan into action. Some people might be a little nervous about what's to come. Some of you might be traveling farther from Varkenbluff than you have ever traveled before. And you can see the boat that must be the Jolly Pelican kind of making its way across the harbor. The crowd is looks eager to get on underway. Hopefully put some good miles in at sea before nightfall. I know a lot about nautical stuff. When suddenly a little urchin boy, is he a gnome or is he just a very, very, very small urchin? Kind of runs up to you, looks around and sees Josh, and holds out his hand. He's holding something shiny in his hand for you, Josh.
I kneel down. What is this, young one?
I was told to deliver this to you right away. The urchin is holding. It looks like a tiny, shiny little golden key, Josh.
Thank you. I take the key.
The urchin runs away. Josh, you may not have seen one of these before. Well, probably you have as a member of the Golden Vault. This is one of the golden keys that the Vault uses for, sending things when they don't have time to have a meeting. And that were you to place this inside a box, you would hear, or place this in your the boxes that various members of the Golden Vault carry with them. A recorded message will play for you.
Anybody got the box handy?
Does anyone have a box on them?
It's probably in our bag of holding. We put a lot of stuff in there.
So you have it, Josh.
So you have it.
All right. Reach in, grab box, insert key.
All right. There's a kind of weird effect as suddenly the area around the five of you gets kind of quiet as the sounds of the outside world are momentarily cut out, and you hear, Mira Rahim's, I think of it as a calm, pleasing voice kind of cut through, though she seems a little less, composed than usual, and says, just a real quick message here. Obviously, I wanted to wish you well, and I hope that you are well prepared for the task at hand. I did have to pull in a lot of favors from the Golden Vault in order to get you all of the things that you've asked for, of course. And, sometimes we have these challenges with like scope creep, and, it turns out some of the favors that I did, well, people have already cashed them in. So no worries, but I've got some additional mission parameters for you, and best of luck. And the vault kind of, the box spits out like a little curly piece of paper, and then it spits out another one and another one and another one. And Josh, you suddenly realize you're holding like 6 tiny little slips of paper with each with like a tiny printed message on them.
Let's start. I hand out slips of paper to everybody else.
All
what
right.
do we got?
I'm gonna just paste these into the chat and roll 20. Maybe if each of you could take a turn reading some of the additional last minute directives from the Golden Vault. Monty, would you read additional directive number 1?
Let's see. Though the Golden Vault fully wishes to support and aid the Axebreaker clan, it is important that no harm come to Prisoner 13 given their connection to other areas relevant to the Vault's interests, so we can't rough them up.
Annette, would you mind reading Directive 2?
Apparently, we are going to investigate the warden. Warden Marta Marthanis has a reputation as a law-abiding and fair bureaucratic official, but the Golden Vault has heard some strange rumors regarding recent behavior. I feel like our team in inspection is well poised to do this. Learn whatever you can about the warden and report back.
Chip, would you give us Directive 3?
A longtime asset of the Golden Vault, Noros Stouts Park, is serving a 2-year term at Revel's End. You are tasked with delivering a small rock to him, a sending stone, so that Golden Vault can stay in contact with him.
The urchin runs off. Oh, one more thing, and hands you the rock because I forgot that there was a prompt for this this directive. Bye, mister.
Throw this rock into the anti-magic field that covers his cell.
Mm-hmm. Hey, you just got to follow the letter of the law, not the thing. Mm-hmm. Lincoln, you want to give us Directive 4?
Put in a good word. Golden Vault Associate Atrius Firebrand's case is coming up for review by the Absolution Council next month. Counselor Kriv Norixius seems likely to vote against commutation. Your task is to do whatever you can to convince Counselor Norixius to vote yes.
And Erica, Directive 5.
Directive 5, behavior correction. Rayson Payne is a guard known for his cruelty and brutality, including towards some prisoners whose health and safety is important to the Golden Vault. Use whatever means you deem appropriate to assure Rayson's future behavior will not be an issue.
And Monty, there's a 6th and final directive.
Leave no trace. The Golden Vault would benefit from the activities of this mission being as discreet as possible. Do whatever you can to minimize any alarms, alerts, or otherwise leaving evidence of your intrusions into Revel's End.
And as you are reading your tiny slips of paper, the Jolly Pelican clanks against the docks, and crew and cargo begin loading and unloading as your adventure begins. Next time, we will arrive in Revel's End. Will our adventurers make a good impression as a legitimate or not so legitimate non-governmental organization? Will they change the nature of how prisoners are treated here on the Sword Coast? Will they rough up some guy named Rayson Pine? Will they have to, talk to a lawyer? I don't know. For answers to questions such as these, tune in next time to Total Party Kill.
The Incomparable Podcast Network. Become a member and support this show today. theincomparable.com/members